Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, as you can tell, I'm back in my home studio. I'm back from vacation. Me and the family went to Montreal and we had a really good time, a quick vacation. But folks, we got big news to talk about. I want to kick it off with Bitcoin, and right now still consolidating around $107,000. We're waiting for a breakout to new highs, and I think that's around the corner. We may see some volatility before we get there. But one of the major indicators we've been looking at, both in the newsletter as well as on the podcast, is that we are seeing global liquidity continues to rise and risk assets are following. And look at the S&P 500. It is hitting new all-time highs. A perfect V-shaped recovery is happening here. You look at this chart, it's beautiful. The big dump that happened with the tariff uncertainty crash, of course, and now we're seeing the recovery from that. And even the NASDAQ is hitting new all-time highs. So what we've seen is that all risk assets, whether it be precious metals, crypto, stocks, and so forth, are all correlated to global liquidity, and they have been on the rise. And folks, this is a beautiful sign. It shows we are still in a bull market. And as mentioned, there's going to be volatility, so you have to expect that nothing goes up in a straight line. But the signs are there for the continuation and for the run up to new highs. You just got to be patient. Another factor that is important to look at is the DXY, the dollar currency index. You know, I wrote in my newsletter on Sunday that it was below 98. It is now below 97. It continues to break down. That is very good for risk assets due to the inverse correlation. So all the metrics, all the data, and once again, I'm not sharing my emotions now, not my feelings, but the data, because you're going to see people in the comment section who have been saying for months, we're in a bear market, it's all done, right? They have disappeared, and some of them are still hanging around because some of them are shorting the market, so they want to, put fear and put sell pressure out there. But we are in a bull market, and I think it's risky to short in a bull market. You want to short in a bear market, that's easy, right? But guys, we still got more upside here, so that's the takeaway. Now, folks, the big, beautiful bill, which is, of course, Donald Trump's spending bill to fund the government and to kick off a whole bunch of economic prosperity and things along those lines. Well, apparently, Senator Cynthia Lummis, who's a big-time crypto advocate, she tried to put some language in the bill regarding crypto. So this is interesting. It's outside of the crypto market structure bill and the stablecoin bill. So Eleanor Terrett reported that amendments to the big, beautiful bill regarding crypto taxes are still on the table today, despite some last minute disagreements Sunday. I'm hearing the White House has gotten wind of this and is pushing for inclusion of Senator Lummis's language in the final bill. Now, Dennis Porter tweeted out about this saying, we could see the cap gains exception and the end of double taxation on mining rewards in this respective amendment. There's also some language around staking. So this would be a very good thing for the industry. Let's see if it's able to make it through. Obviously, there's a whole other aspect to this bill as it relates to politics and Democrats and Republicans and funding the government and all that stuff, right? You guys know about all that stuff. We're not here to talk about that because that's all politics. But as it relates to crypto, let's see if this language makes it through because this could be really big. Now, folks, Robinhood is going all in on crypto. Today, they had a big event where they announced new features, new products, and things that they are building. So here's the headline. Robinhood pushes deeper into crypto with their own blockchain tokenized stock launch. This is huge, guys. Robinhood is a massive player. Obviously, a lot of retail investors use Robinhood going back to investing in stocks. Now, Robinhood is going all in on crypto, looking to offer different crypto products and financial services. And they're looking to do a lot of tokenization as well because they see the direction the puck is heading in. They see disruptions at their doorstep. So they're trying to get ahead. And let me give you the details. So Robinhood is expanding its crypto offerings by developing its own blockchain network based on Arbitrum and launching tokenized stock trading for European users. A couple things here. One, they are building on Arbitrum, which is an Ethereum layer 2 blockchain. So we're seeing the adoption of public blockchains here. Once again, they're not doing some sort of private networking here. Many of these guys are building on public blockchains, and look, they may use ZK, zero knowledge proof, and things like that to make sure certain data is private. But the point is, they're building on a public blockchain infrastructure. And of course, tokenizing stocks. So all the traditional assets, such as stocks, equities, and others, will be tokenized on blockchains. So the company aims to create an all-in-one investment app with 24/7 trading, self-custody, and cross-chain bridging of tokenized assets underpinned by blockchain rails. As part of the crypto push, Robinhood is introducing perpetual swaps to European users and crypto staking to US investors. Talk about going all in. This is a lot, folks. And they did a big event, and its CEO, Vlad Tenev, of course, spoke about it. And it's incredible. One of the largest players in the market in the TradFi world going neck deep into crypto. Incredible stuff. And then notice what they said here, 24/7 trading. What have I been saying for years and years and years, right? Beating the drum to you guys. We are headed to the first truly global market, 24/7 trading. No opening or closing bell, no holidays, no close on weekends, and all your traditional assets running on blockchain. Now, you may say, Tony, how can I, essentially capitalize on this? Well, for one, look at the blockchain they're building on, Arbitrum, which is an Ethereum layer 2. So you can hold the Arbitrum token. I personally don't. You can hold Ethereum, which, the layer 2s obviously send value to the layer 1, which is Ethereum. So you can hold Ethereum. I do hold Ethereum. You can hold Robinhood stock, of course. They are looking to tokenize their own stock as well. And then, the other things that they're doing is going to allow more capital to come into the market. So they're launching perpetual swaps, crypto staking, and all these things. So that's, pretty much how you can essentially get capitalized on this. And, once their tokenized stocks are launched, you can see what DeFi services they add to that, where you can then maybe hold those stocks and then lend them out and do all kinds of cool things that you can't do holding the traditional stock, right? So these are the ways to think about it and look at how you can capitalize. This is so bullish, so massive. And as always, game theory will play out here, and you will see their competitors jump in. We're still waiting for big names like Charles Schwab and E-Trade and all these guys to go all in. We heard rumors, but they're coming. All the big bangs. I think many are waiting on crypto legislation, like the stablecoin bill, and of course the market structure bill. So things are moving in the right direction here. Now, the folks at Arbitrum did tweet out about this Robinhood partnership, and that Robinhood's going to be building on Arbitrum. And they said here, Arbitrum will serve as Robinhood's rails to merge DeFi and TradFi in what is a 0-to-1 moment for the entire industry, all while onboarding millions of net new users into crypto. Big statements there, folks. All right, let's move ahead. This one is big too. Stablecoin issuer Circle, which just went public, applies for a national bank charter. So you're seeing a lot of these crypto companies are going after the bank charters. You're going to see kind of a democratization in banking. No longer would JP Morgan and these big banks be the only ones running banking services. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're going to die and go away right away. Clearly, they've been fighting. We've talked ad nauseum about it over the past 4 years, that Jamie Dimon and the banking industry was lobbying Elizabeth Warren to attack crypto. And that's why you saw Gensler even breaking the law just to attack crypto, right? You saw this old grandma, that is Elizabeth Warren, going crazy about crypto when the country is facing other problems, right? That because she's getting paid, she's getting lobbied to do that. And that's what the big fight was about. And that's why you see Wall Street now, all of them are making their announcements. JP Morgan, Bank of America, we're all going to get involved, launch crypto trading. We're going to support ETFs. We're going to provide banking services. We're going to launch our own stablecoin, right? So it's incredible what's happening. So here are the key points. Circle Internet Group submitted a bank charter application to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. That's the OCC. Circle is the issuer of the USDC stablecoin. The firm hopes to establish establish a national trust bank, which will be named First National Digital Currency Bank NA. Anchorage Digital is the only other crypto company to obtain such a license. So Anchorage Digital is, of course, a crypto custodian. I've had the CEO and some representatives on the podcast over the years. The CEO is Nathan McCauley. I think I interviewed him last year. Most recently, I try to get him back on soon. But this is going to be a big factor in how these crypto companies grow and they're able to do certain banking services, because you got stablecoins for payments, you get the custody aspect. So they're going to be able to do a lot more borrowing, lending, and all that jazz. So incredible stuff, folks. Crypto's just become ubiquitous. You're just seeing it everywhere. Everybody's trying to get involved, get their licenses, get their charters, and launching their services. It's a big race right now, and everybody wants to get as much market share as possible, right? It's great to see this. Competition's healthy, and folks, we are the early adopters. We've been buying the blood on the streets, buying the fear, and ready to sell the blow off top, right? Folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Trezor. Trezor makes beautiful crypto hardware wallets that allow you to safely store your crypto. They were the pioneers of the hardware wallet. They started doing this in 2013. Their crypto hardware wallets are open source, and they support a variety of coins, folks. I'm talking Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, Ethereum, all your top coins. They also have a great software called Trezor Suite, which allows you to easily manage your coins. And they have a onboarding service where you can talk to a Trezor rep to help set up your device. So there's a hand-holding service there. And I'm a user of the device. I personally use the Trezor Safe 5. And once again, the wallets are really nice and easy to use. And folks, you can get 5% off if you buy a device using the code ThinkingCrypto, all one word, ThinkingCrypto. So check it out. Go to Trezor. The links will be in the description, and check out their hardware wallets. Now, folks, this is surprising. The SEC clears way for the first Solana staking ETF. Rex and Osprey prep to launch their Solana staking ETF. This is interesting because the SEC has not approved an Ethereum staking ETF yet, but the way Rex and Osprey are going about it is different. So let me give you the details. It's not what we are seeing out there with the spot ETFs and so forth. So on Friday, the SEC informed Rex Shares and Osprey Funds that it had no further comments on their Solana staking ETF filing. In ETF regulatory parlance, industry watchers often viewed that phrase as the SEC's implicit green light. It's the same wink and nod that preceded the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs from BlackRock, Fidelity, and others. Essentially, the review is done. Fire when ready, according to a post the fund will be trading this Wednesday, July 2nd. This product is officially titled the Rex Osprey Solana and Staking ETF, would be the first US ETF to offer investors exposure to Solana's price movements alongside native staking rewards. Unlike traditional crypto trusts, this ETF is structured under the Investment Company Act of 1940 using a C corporation format, which allows staking income to flow through to investors without triggering regulatory red flags around yield, taxation, or custody. So they're taking a different approach here. That structure was a hurdle. When treated as an ordinary income, staking rewards had proven incompatible with trusted base fund models, which couldn't easily distribute variable staking yields. So they took a very different direction than the other players out there. We'll see how this plays out when the regular staking in Ethereum ETFs get approved, like the spot ETFs, and how this all plays out. But it's nevertheless a smart move. They kind of found a workaround here. Bloomberg's James Seyffert noted that at the time that the fund's unique C Corp format could bypass the typical 19B-4 rule change process, the SEC's silence on the C Corp workaround now appears to validate it has a compliance solution. Rex Shares, stretching for its victory lap, has already begun teasing or publicly teasing the ETF as coming soon. Meanwhile, analysts like Eric Balchunas weighed in saying they are good to launch. It looks like, wow, he posted. So this is interesting, and we could see some other companies do something similar. Don't be surprised if, like the Ethereum folks who have Ethereum ETFs try to go this way with the C corporation setup. We'll see. But nevertheless, this is a very, very interesting development here. Now, speaking of ETFs, the SEC acknowledges the amendment to convert Grayscale's digital large cap fund into an ETF covering Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, and ADA. Folks, I've often said that eventually in the long term, I believe these index ETFs, which gives you exposure to, let's say, the top 5 or top 10, will outperform the individual ETFs like the Bitcoin and so forth, because I think people are going to want to get more exposure beyond just Bitcoin or ETH, right? It's kind of what we see with the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. These indexes have grown over time, and it becomes an easy way for people to invest passively, not having to think about which crypto should I add, which stock should I add, and so forth, right? So this is really great, and I think we're going to see a lot of these basket ETFs approved over time. Now, earlier we talked about Robinhood, launching their tokenized stocks and so forth. Well, Kraken Exchange said here, breaking: Wall Street is officially on chain. xStocks are now live on Kraken. 60 US equities tokenized and tradable 24/5. So it looks like just over 5 days, 24 hours over 5 days. More coming soon. The folks at StockX highlighted that they've also partnered with Chainlink, and many of you know I'm bullish on Chainlink. I hope I hold the Link token in my portfolio. They said, we're excited to announce Chainlink has joined the xStocks Alliance as the official Oracle infrastructure powering the pricing of all xStocks tokenized equities and ETFs. Watch out for Chainlink, folks. Many other platforms and blockchains are using Chainlink for the pricing, indexes and oracles and much more. So that's why I'm bullish on Chainlink, and I'm hoping for a over $100 Chainlink this cycle, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, final news item here. We're Liberty Financial has a mobile app in the works. So many of you know We're Liberty Financial, backed by Trump and his kids, involved in that. So it looks like they're going to launch some sort of app here. So co-founder Zach Folkman, he said the following regarding the mobile app. He said, it's something that we've been working on for a very long time, now with some of the best partners and builders in the space, both on our team and companies that we've partnered with. And this is the kind of culmination of what I was talking about in terms of creating a Web2 style fintech application that allows a non-native crypto user to be able to very easily deposit, get the benefit of earning through DeFi applications, and be able to send and receive crypto between friends and family very easily. So this is interesting. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not a user of World Liberty Financial. I don't hold a token. I'm not hating on it. I don't see a need to use it. Some of you may have taken a bet on it and hold it, but my initial thought was I need to see how this plays out, because I don't know who the developers have. They gone through the proper testing, to avoid hacks and collapses. We've seen exploits in DeFi, for folks who have not done things well and their security is not up to par. Again, it depends who's on the team and so forth. And that's all me. I need to do a bit more research, but I always like to, let these things play out to see, what's happening here, who's involved. I've often stated version 1.0 of anything is not perfect. There's usually a lot of bugs. So I don't want to be part of the phase where the bugs and I lose my money, right? So you got to be careful. You got to be smart. You got to do your research. So just keep that in mind when you see new projects, something to think about. Now, if you're holding the token, it is a little less risk. There's always a risk when you're investing, of course, but there's less risk, but if you're putting into some sort of DeFi, smart contract, and doing some sort of boring lending, you got to know what you're doing, man. We've seen some massive exploits because we're still in the early days, and that's not to say DeFi is going away. It's going to stay. There just needs to be further iteration and building, but you always got to be smart, do your research, test things out. Maybe don't put a ton of money, put a little bit of money, see how it works, and learn your way around and make sure that everything's good before you put a lot of money, if you know what I mean. All right, folks, let me know what you think about this news, especially the Robinhood news. It's just huge. And even Circle, going after a bank charter. Leave your comments below. And folks, a great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And my new course at mycryptocourse.com. If you want to expand your knowledge around crypto, this is the course from you. You will hear from founders, CEOs, and institutional investors. This course is packed with tons of value, videos, text write-ups, downloadable materials, and much more. Check it out. Link will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching and listening, folks. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.